In this section, we're going to work with solving logarithmic equations. Okay, so for this first property, one-to-one property of logarithmic equations. So it says if m is greater than 0, n is greater than 0, a is greater than 0, and a doesn't equal 1, and it's any real number, a is any real number, then this statement right here. And what it says is if you've got like log base 5 of x equals log base 5 of 23, then if they're the same logarithm on both sides, you know, same base, then the arguments must be equal. So you can say then x equals 23. Okay, so it's kind of like that pop-out idea we did with exponential equations. You're not dividing by anything. You're just saying if I attach the function, the same function, to both sides, then I can take out the function part and just compare the arguments. Okay, so we'll try an example. It takes a while to get used to these. So right now, I don't have just log base 3 on the left. I have 2 times log base 3, right, of x. On the right, I have log base 3 of 36. Okay, so what I want to do first is get that 2 back up on the exponent spot. So I'm going to write log base 3 of x squared equals log base 3 of 36. Okay, now I can compare the log base 3 here and the log base 3 here and say, well, I don't really need those. So I'm going to pop out the arguments and say x squared equals 36. Now we look at that, that's a quadratic equation. You could just say, oh, I'll take the square root of both sides, x equals plus or minus 6, you know, if you apply the square root on both of them. Okay, but there's a problem with a negative 6. When we have an equation with a logarithm, so when we have log base a of x, the argument has to be greater than 0. That was in the description when we were looking at this property. It was up above. Remember, they all had to be greater than 0. So in this case, my variable x, I had wound up when I solved it to get 2 choices, positive 6 or negative 6. I can't use the negative case. So you might be thinking, oh, there's going to be 2 answers, but this one would make the argument negative, and so you can't have it. So the answer is 6. X equals 6. Okay?